Hello, Namaskar, and a very good evening to all the viewers watching our sessions out there. This is Simran Singh, and you are watching this live interactive session of NCERT on eVidya channel number 6 to 12. Besides, we have so many different mediums through which you all can connect with us, and you can participate in our live telecast by raising your queries, your questions, your messages, and your feedback in the comment section of NCERT official, that is our YouTube channel. If you are watching this particular live telecast through television, then here is the contact number which is flashing on your screens. So feel free to give us a call at this number, which is 8800 440559, and a specific mail ID for these cyber safety sessions are cybersafety@ciet.nic.in. So again, I would like to take the moment to welcome all of you in our series running on Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas in collaboration with ISEA CDAC. So the Ministry of Home Affairs is implementing a scheme which is called the Indian Cybercrime Coordination Center I4C to deal with cyber crimes in a coordinated and comprehensive manner, and in order to create awareness among students, teachers and parents regarding cyber security. We are running these Cyber Jaagrookta sessions on the first Wednesday of every month. And for the month of March 2023, CIET NCERT has planned a number of sessions on the theme Ethics in Emerging Digital Space. So let me quickly guide you across our website so that you can understand more about these 5-day cyber security sessions that we are not running in continuum. So I'm taking you quickly towards our website. So let's have a look at the website of CIET. All you have to do is log into this website, that is www.ciet.nic.in. So if you want to gather all the information on these sessions, then all you have to do is click on events. Under events, the third last option says workshop/training. So here you can see that there are 3 kinds of activities displayed on your screen. So just click on theme for March 2023, Ethics in Emerging Digital Space. From 1st March and 24th of March will be the concluding day. And once we click on this, you will land on this home page where you can get all the information about Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas, about these training series, about the topics that we have covered so far, and what are we going to discuss in the following days. So let me quickly apprise you that the first session of this series was conducted on 1st of March. That was day before yesterday, and we discussed on the theme, that is Ethics in Emerging Digital Space. As you can watch on your screens, there is a detailed banner and you may find all the details over there also. For the second day, that is today, we are going to elaborate more on internet ethics for various user groups and security measures. And the third day of these sessions would be on 10th of March 2023, where we are going to discuss and shed more light on ethics, social media platforms. The fourth day will take place on 17th of March. That would be our 4th session for Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas series. We'll talk about ethics, e-commerce and banking transactions. And the concluding day is 24th of March. So on 24th of March, we are going to elaborate more on ethical practices in online education, because it is very important for us to be safe and sound, not only in the offline world, but also in the online world. And surely towards the end of this session, I'll guide you towards our post-session activity. That is the activity we are going to launch on 24th of March. It is the quiz. So where you can find the quiz details, what are the steps that will guide you on there, we will be discussing, but in the later segment of the conversation. So as of now, we have our today's conversation on internet ethics for various user groups and security measures. So let me introduce you to the guest of the evening. We are joined by Ms. Simi ji. Namaskar, ma'am.
Namaste.
Good evening. We welcome you. Ma'am is Knowledge Management Lead at CDAC, Meiji from Government of India. She is a content lead from Information Security Education and Awareness, that is ISEA, Center for Development of Advanced Computing, that is CDAC, Hyderabad. So viewers, in this live interactive session, you know the different mediums through which you can connect with us. So let's commence our conversation, and for any of the queries, feel free to connect with us. So Simi ma'am, I request you to take our viewers more through the different aspects of internet ethics for various user groups and security measures associated with it.
Thank you so much, Simran, for the brief introduction and taking on the introduction for this session in a very nice manner. Total, a very warm welcome to all the participants for the session on Internet ethics today. I welcome you on behalf of CIT and CDAC and ISEA. Initially, let me thank CIT for the opportunity provided for providing the session and throwing some light on the internet ethics, which is an important part of cybersecurity. Before we start on this session, let me actually take you through the introduction. Before the introduction on internet ethics, I would like to mention that it is in view of India's G20 presidency this year that MITI, or Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology, has initiated several programs for spreading cyber awareness in the country. And it is ICA, along with the other ministries, which has taken up the initiative of taking up the cybersecurity awareness at its level by launching the campaign called Stay Safe Online. Through this particular campaign, we intend to spread security awareness to various stakeholders in the country, including women, children, students, senior citizens, government employees, and others in view of this particular campaign. And a website called staysafeonline.gov.in is also initiated, in which the viewers will be able to see various types of contents and varieties of contents on cyber security awareness, which includes videos, newsletters, infographics, storyboards, quizzes, along with some assessments, interesting assessments too, and the news of the day or the news alerts on this cyber threats which citizens are facing today. So the viewers can visit the site and know more about this Stay Safe Online campaign and get aware about the cybersecurity related measures. Moving on to the topic of the day, which is internet ethics. Now, in this session of internet ethics, I will be taking you along by introducing what internet ethics actually mean, the brief idea about why we need it, the internet ethics in the current digital world, and take you on from there to the origins of the internet ethics, to the evolution of the 10 commandments of the computer ethics in the current cyber world, which were introduced in 1990s early, and their relevance today, and from there take you on to the internet ethics which can be applied in the current digital world, which is way after the computer ethics were introduced in 1990s. And then we will discuss about the importance in the current digital trends about these practices and certain secured internet practices, and apply them to the various stakeholders which were just mentioned, which include students, children, women, government employees, etc. We shall now move on with the PPTs. Now, giving introduction to the term of internet ethics or cyber ethics can be described as acceptable behavior standards to be followed by digital users while using internet. Now, if we take up the term of ethics as such, in general also, ethics are morals or the standards or the basic principles that are inculcated into an individual right from the beginning stage, right from the home where he is born by the elders in the home, to bring that individual up as a civilized individual who will be helpful for the society, for the family, and for the community which he is staying in. Now, when we talk about, in similar manner, when we talk about internet ethics, we are talking about the cyber world or the cyber village as a society or a community which is online available for the netizens. And therefore, it is for us, the netizens, to ensure that we as netizens prove to be appropriate, prove to follow certain practices which ensures that the cyberspace is actually a healthy, vibrant, and conducive enough to promote healthy practices, and the people or the netizens who are actually browsing the net feel safe enough to explore the cyberspace and move forward in it. Now, as we all know, internet and digital devices have become an integral part of our daily life, and it is our responsibility to make it safe enough by following internet ethics. Internet ethics basically refers to those rules and regulations and standards and guidelines pertaining to the use of the computers and internet. Now, when we talk about the rules and regulations, we talk about those unsaid or unwritten rules which or the guidelines which we need to follow when we are making use of the devices and internet. They can include the practices such as restricting or safeguarding our sensitive personal information as we safeguard our valuables in a normal situation. We can talk about including being mindful and responsible about how and what we communicate and interact with others online. The same also applies in our general life when we talk about ethical practices, how we interact with our family, how we interact with our friends, how we interact with our teachers. So these are the same ethics that we need to take to the cyberspace and apply it over there so that it becomes a conducive environment. It includes being respectful and trustworthy in an online environment, which is again the same in the normal, usual world also. So basically, cyber ethics is, or the internet ethics is an extension of general ethics in the cyberspace. So internet ethics encourages appropriate usage and acceptable behavior while working online. Now, when we are talking about ethics in the internet world, as we all know that it was back in 1980s, hardly we had known about the internet or the computers. It is in the recent years that internet and digital usage has become so prevalent that it has become a part of our daily life. And therefore, when we bring about this into our daily lives, we need to bring about the certain ethical standards also along with the usage of this internet or the cyberspace. And this internet ethics, when we bring about, will encourage appropriate usage and acceptable behavior. Now, when we are talking about acceptable behavior, as we said, it includes practices such as being courteous, not encouraging cyberbullying, or practices such as phishing or wishing. So it talks about discouraging the malpractices or the malicious attempts about the by the cyber fraudsters by taking up necessary practices and right from the beginning inculcating the ethical practices by making the users aware. Now, when we say users, who are the various users that we are talking about in this particular context? We are talking about different users in the society, which include children, students, teachers, women, senior citizens, government employees, etc. Now, how is it applicable for them? Now, though the internet ethics or the basic principles that we may talk about are going to be the same, the way they are going to be applied by these stakeholders will be differing. Like, for example, women need to take care of these ethical practices or the secured practices while shopping online, or while browsing the net for various online offers and all. So, whereas children, when we apply them to the children, then we talk about what they should do while downloading apps, what they should do while playing online games or chatting with friends, or so similarly for the senior citizens, it will apply to the financial transactions which they might need to involve in while drawing their pensions, or their retirement benefits and all. So similarly, internet ethics, when taken into consideration, can be the same for all the stakeholders, but the applications will differ from individual stakeholder to individual. So basically, these internet ethics aims at responsible and ethical use of the computers and promote them in the current digital space. Now, internet ethics, when they are being framed, what are the aspects that are taken into consideration while these internet ethics are to be, framed or brought into the scenario? So they need to be considered. I mean, these internet ethics need to take into consideration the impact of the technology by considering the moral aspects, legal aspects, and the social aspects. Now, when we talk about the moral aspects, it refers to the principles, the basic principles of human behavior. In today's cyber world, we look at various hazards like cyberbullying, viewing porn sites, trolling, sexting, creating fake profiles, malware attacks, etc. Now, they refer to the moral standards of the individuals in the cyberspace. And this needs to be addressed while we are talking about computer ethics or the cyber ethics or the internet ethics. And the appropriate practices needs to be framed. And similarly, when we are taking into consideration the legal aspects, we are talking about malware attacks, the debit cards, credit card frauds, copyright violations, which all lead to legally offensive acts which can be punished. And when we talk about the social aspects, we are talking about the aspects which are affecting the social fabric of the society, like the digital addiction or the societal problems which have come into existence because of excessive use of the digital devices, like the physical, mental, and the psychological issues due to the excessive usage of digital devices, the isolations which the people are facing within the families and within the friends also, and making the digital world their playground rather than the physical playground. So these are the societal aspects also which needs to be considered, which are considered when framing the internet ethics. Therefore, internet ethics suggest the acceptable behavior standards to be followed while using internet or digital devices. Now, when we look into the origins of internet ethics, or what were the initial phases where the concept of ethics were introduced, we can see that it was in 1992 that the Computer Ethics Institute introduced the 10 commandments for computer ethics in the paper that was presented by Mr. Raman C. Barkin. Now, Mr. Raman C. Barkin had introduced the concept of 10 commandments for computer ethics in his paper, which was presented, called In Pursuit of 10 Commandments for Computer Ethics. These 10 commandments are basically referring to the biblical principles relating to the ethics in Judaism and Christianity and relate them to the cyberspace. And they were introduced basically as means to create set of standards to guide and instruct people in the ethical use or the moral use or the right use of computers by the digital users. Now, what are the 10 commandments that were introduced and what are they talking about? If we look into them, the 10 commandments include, the first one is you should not use computer to harm others. It is not talking about the physical harm, but the harm which can be caused to its users by malware attack or phishing attack or some kind of malicious practices. The second commandment is you should not interfere with other people's computer work, which includes the practice, the inappropriate or the malicious practice of breaking into others' computers, breaking their password, or interfering with their work by stealing their work or changing their work. So all these practices, they were looked into, and it was suggested that one should not interfere with other people's computer work. The third one says you should not snoop around in other people's computers, which is basically to say that when we are going through the content which is put online by the other members within the network, or within their computer, we should not, as a principle, snoop into their computer files or their work and fiddle with it. The fourth one says you should not use computers to steal the content, wherein it basically says that sensitive information or confidential information, which is very important for an individual, should not be stolen or misused, which is equivalent to robbery in a normal physical environment. You should not, the fifth commandment says you should not use computer to bear false witness, which means to say the computers should not be used to spread wrong or false information through rumors or through social networking sites or emails. The sixth commandment says you should not copy or use proprietary software for which you have not paid without appropriate permission, which again talks about the copyright violations or using the copyrighted content without taking the author's permission or without giving appropriate credits to the author. So it says one should not copy or use proprietary software for which the permission is not allowed. The seventh commandment says you should not use other people's computer resources without authorization or proper compensation. It also talks about another moral practice wherein users are discouraged from misusing or using the computer resources, their content, or their personal information without proper authorization or without their permission, without the owner's permission. The eighth commandment says you should not appropriate other people's intellectual output. The internet is a creative space where people come out with their own creative content and would like to display it online. So this content which they have put across should not be used by others in an inappropriate manner and take it and display it as their own content instead of giving credit to the actual creative person who has come out with the work. The ninth commandment says you should think about societal or the social consequences of the program you are writing or the system you are designing. It alerts the consciousness, this commandment alerts the consciousness of the software developers and indicates that their social responsibility of devising programs which are appropriate and which are conducive for the social and individual well-being, which needs to be taken care while designing. The 10th commandment says you should always use computer in ways that ensure consideration and respect for other humans. It indicates at the kindness and the consideration and the basic human value of being kind and considerate to one another, and says that the abusive or the bad languages or it says that one should follow respectful and courteous ways of interaction while they are online. So these were the 10 commandments which were initially in 1990s framed by Mr. Barik, and they found their way into various papers later on. However, as the digital society progressed and the internet usage progressed, it was found that there were certain restrictions in those commandments and it can be broadened. The critics felt that these commandments can be broadened and further be made relevant to the current internet trends which are in place in the current digital society. So when we look at the current internet trends and try to suggest certain try to suggest certain guidelines or the practices which are applicable in the current cyber age as ethical practices, then we will come about the similar aspects. We will bring about the similar aspects which were mentioned in this 10 commandments in various ways which are applicable in the current context. So these internet ethics which we are going to suggest are similar to the internet ethics, to the computer ethics, and looks into the appropriate internet usage and online behavior guidelines. They intend to raise the awareness on the responsible and the acceptable ethical ways of internet usage in the current cyber age. The objectives of the internet ethics that are being proposed will also aim at setting certain moral standards that govern the usage of the computer and internet, and aims to make internet a healthy, safe space for exploration and interaction, which seek new horizons for the digital citizens in this cyber age where where the digital devices and internet has become a part of their life. A few of the important internet ethical practices which are in line with this 10 computer commandments that we have looked into are suggested over here. They include: one should not disclose the private and the personal information when you are online. You should not pretend to be someone else on internet or spread false information online. We'll look into each of these internet ethics as we go further. Let us first look into what are these 10 internet ethics, suggestible or recommended internet ethics that are in line with this 10 computer commandments that we had earlier seen. The second one says, you should not pretend to be someone else on the internet or spread false information online. You should not use copyrighted content available on the internet. You should be sensitive. The fourth one says you should be sensitive and accepting to the different cultures and traditions of the people on the internet. You should not use internet to hurt others' feelings as it can harm them. The sixth one says you should take necessary guidance from the concerned authority like parent or teacher or administrator while exploring internet. The seventh commandment says you should browse only secured sites and avoid restricted sites which are not age appropriate or which are not safe on internet. You should only spend limited time on internet and ensure your productivity is not affected. You should not believe. The ninth commandment says you should not believe everyone you meet on internet, and whatever you see posted on internet also should not be believed as it is presented. Developers, the 10th and the final commandment, or the 10th or the final recommended internet ethics, says developers should be able to assess broader societal impacts of content, services and software being made available by them. Now let us look into each of these internet ethics that we have proposed or we have suggested. The first one says you should not disclose your private and personal information when you are on internet. It suggests that as you protect or safeguard your valuables from theft or robbery, similarly in this digital age, your private or sensitive information, which includes your name, address, phone numbers, mail ID, passwords, photographs, are all such sensitive and valuable information that they can be used as a gold mine by the cyber fraudsters. And if they fall into the wrong hands, they can be misused by the cyber fraudster for various malicious attempts like morphing, phishing, wishing, and other such attacks, fake social profiles, etc. These can harm the digital users in the cyberspace. Therefore, it is a must. It is a first practice. It is the primary important. It is of primary importance that the digital users ensure protecting their sensitive personal information and restrict sharing information online with anyone and everyone on the public platforms. The second suggestible internet ethic include you should not pretend to be someone else on internet or spread false information online. Internet, as we know, is a global society where we meet lot of people and we try to interact with each one of them. And trustworthiness is the first rule that needs to be inculcated in the netizens so that it actually promotes a healthy environment. So it is seen that these days, especially if you see on the internet, we can observe that there are a lot of fake profiles being seen. Mostly the famous personalities like movie stars and all, their fake profiles are seen online, and these fake profiles are misused by fraudsters for things like extortion, for things like blackmailing, for things like stalking and other activities. So the netizens should not only be aware of such attempts and take secured measures of protecting themselves, but they should also discourage the use and avoid the use of any such practices, and also take initiative of informing the social media service centers regarding any such profiles, fake profiles which they see online. Therefore, they should ensure that they do not, even for that matter, playing pranks on others, do not pretend to be someone else or on internet, or also not spread the false information online. It applies to all the stakeholders which are who are in the current who are using this this cyberspace. For women, they should not believe the fake or the false offers which are put online, and they should not forward them to others, which is a false information spread online. For children, when they actually interact with others online while playing games or chatting, they should understand that the internet is not what it seems to be on its face, and should not make friends with unknown people. So all these things should be kept in mind by different stakeholders, and they should avoid being someone else, or they should avoid being trapped by the cyber fraudsters, and discourage others also from pretending to be someone else or following any bad practices online. The third suggestible internet ethics is you should not copy or use copyrighted content for information available on internet. What we mean to say by this is there is so much content. Internet is a huge resource in the current world. There is so much of content which is made available online. Now this content is collated and put in by various users, and the copyrighted material is available in different formats like videos, games, and textual content, image content, software, music, etc. So without appropriate permissions, it is not legal or right to use the content, as they can have legal applications or implications. So users should avoid such content without appropriate permissions, and whenever it is allowed under the fair use exemptions, they need to ensure to give appropriate credit to the content provider and only then use it. Moving on to the fourth suggestible internet ethics, the digital users or the netizens should be sensitive and accepting to the different cultures and the traditions of the people on the internet. One should understand that internet is an amalgamation or a global society of users from different countries, cultures, languages, traditions, etc., who come together on a single platform. This arrangement calls for digital users to be open and accepting and sensitive, and also thoughtful and adjusting to the differences of cultures or countries or languages, etc. Users should be open so that their understanding is enough to promote and bring together people on a global platform and foster friendly and motivating and conducive environment. It is only when we understand these differences and be open about it and be accepting and adjusting that we get to foster this internet global village which is coming up right now, where people from across the world come together. And it is only this kind of friendly atmosphere that can promote a uh, uh, um, conducive environment or a space for things to go in the right direction and and promote the right practices by minimizing the frauds or the malicious attempts of the cyber fraudsters. Moving on, the fifth suggestible internet ethics includes that you should not use internet to hurt others' feelings as it can harm them. In the current times, the social media platforms, which have become a trend among the youngsters and adults alike, have become the playgrounds and meeting places for youngsters. They, we have seen incidents like cyberbullying, trolling, hate speech, all happen where the members within the group hurl at each other harsh, abusive, derogatory, attacking comments, which can be very hurtful to the individuals who are in that particular group. Many a times it is seen that it is the convenience of the anonymity or the lack of the physical presence in the digital technology that induces others to behave in such harsh ways and adds fuel to the fire. Members and individuals should understand that this kind of a targeted behavior can harm the targeted person, leading them to the person being affected with depression or suicidal thoughts or stress, anxiety, and disturb or and malign the online environment and causes disturbance and within the environment and the group itself. So being kind and considerate is a basic human value that every digital user should inculcate and practice while they are being online. The sixth internet ethic, which is suggestible, is you should take guidance of concerned authority like parent, teacher, administrator while downloading apps or exploring unknown territories on internet. Now, it is not only internet, as we can see that when we go on to a different place or a different territory which is unknown to us, we often seek the guidance of a person who's known, who's well aware about that particular territory. In the same manner, when we are exploring, or especially the children or others too, when they are exploring unknown territories in the internet, it is apt and advisable that we seek the assistance of either a parent or a teacher or an administrator so that they can guide us in the right way and suggest and protect us from being attacked or from various cyber threats. So as we seek a guide to visit a place, similarly we should also seek guidance of parents or teachers or administrators while downloading softwares or apps or games. This will help avoid threats like malware attacks, phishing, and other attempts of cyber fraudsters.
Surely, ma'am. Certainly, you are discussing some of the important internet ethics with all our viewers. But here, I would like to inform you that we still have around 10 minutes left in the conversation. So, viewers, for any queries, any messages or feedback you would like to share with us, then do drop them in the comment section of NCRT Official. Or if you are watching this particular live telecast of NCRT through television, then you have our contact numbers and the mail IDs through which you can reach out to us. Ma'am, you may continue.
Okay. Thank you, Simran, for reminding about the time. I will move forward with a few more internet ethics and then conclude with the summary. So the seventh internet ethics proposes that you should browse only the secured sites and avoid restricted sites which are not age appropriate on internet. Now, when we talk about age inappropriate content, we are talking about various contents which are put on this site, which are put on the sites or the internet. As mentioned earlier, internet is a vast ocean of resources and innumerable options are there to explore on it. So therefore, it is better to adopt certain security measures and know about them. Like one should be aware about not clicking on the links which are received towards offering of gifts and all. Ensure that the websites which they visit are having HTTPS with a lock symbol which ensures the encryption and the security. Ensure that the browsing sites doesn't have inappropriate adult content which usually indicates that phishing websites or those websites which capture your data for various other malicious practices. So one should ensure that they visit the secured sites which is appropriate for them to visit. And the major thing which one should know about is when you're using anything in excess, then that becomes an addiction. And addiction leads to various other issues. So you should only spend limited time on internet and ensure that your productivity is not affected. And you should plan your schedule in such a way that it gives scope for you to learn, educate yourself through the interactive means and the various educational resources which internet provides, but at the same time not ignore your daily schedule or the other activities or your physical involvement by playing games and all, and appropriately limit the screen time by avoiding the health or other hazards. The ninth commandment or the ninth suggestible internet ethic suggests you should not believe everyone you meet on internet or everything you see posted on internet. It is a fact that cyber fraudsters take up various roles or various fake identities to trap either the children or the adults into various cyber offenses like cyber grooming or stalking or blackmailing or sextortion and all. So the user should be aware that not everyone that you see online and not everything that you actually watch online is what it seems or what it seems to be. There are malicious intruders who are operating from behind the scenes, and internet being a virtual space, what you see online is not true. Therefore, whenever you receive friend requests from unknown people and all, it is necessary and important that you verify the sources, authenticate the sources, and cautiously move forward for a good internet experience. And finally, developers should be able to assess the broader societal impacts of the content and services and software being made available by them. This has to take into consideration the privacy, accuracy, accessibility, and majorly the effects on the quality of the life of the individuals while developing the software resources, so that the digital technology proves to be an idea that is not only helping the technology to go to the next level, but also helping the individual and the society at large by promoting a healthy and vibrant atmosphere. So the internet ethics which we have proposed, basically it intends to ward off the technology misuse, set acceptable guidelines for online behavior, steer the social conduct and individual interaction, and lay strong foundation for building a healthy online community. They promote responsible and online transaction, encourage considerate and kind online behavior, and decreases cyber frauds and crimes, and effectively handles the root cause of privacy and security issues. They help build safe and healthy online community and supports the law enforcing agencies and security systems in effective implementation and discharge of their duties.
Sure, ma'am. And ma'am, due to paucity of time, I'll have to request you to conclude your words.
Okay. So, in summary, let me say that respect your privacy and others' privacy when you are in the cyber world. Value accuracy, Be kind and considerate and trustworthy while online, and be wise and prudent while using internet. Now, I conclude by with a quote by Potter Stewart, who's a well-known American judge and lawyer, who says, "Ethics is knowing the difference between what you have a right to do and what is right to do." So therefore, follow internet ethics to ensure safe, conducive, and vibrant cyberspace. Thank you.
Well said. Thank you so much, ma'am, for connecting with us in this conversation and apprising us about the important aspects associated with internet ethics along with the security measures associated with it. Thank you for the valuable information and for sparing your time.
Thank you, Simran.
All the viewers watching this particular conversation on Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas series, we still have around 2 to 3 minutes left. So let me take you quickly across our website so that we can get to know about the post session activity, the quiz link, and from where all you can access the different details of these sessions. So as I guided you in the beginning of the session, all you have to do is, when you are visiting our website, the website of CIET and CERT, this is the home page where you will land upon. Once you click on the events and you follow the sequence and click on workshop/training. So the three kind of activities are visible to you under current activity, that is the theme for March 2023, ethics in emerging digital space. So as you can see that all the details are mentioned in detail at this page meant for all of you, and a detailed banner against the days on which we are running these series, and also the topics or the titles guided by them. Then the objectives of the session is obviously to enlighten about digital ethics and emerging digital space to everyone, also enhancing the internet ethics for various user groups and the security measures, and most prominently to manage oneself ethically, professionally, and in a clinically sound manner via online and digital mediums. Now the best part is that you all can participate in the post session activity, that is our quiz, whether it's students, teachers, teacher educators, parents, administrators, or general public. Now here we have the comprehensive program schedule for all of you with the days and the dates. We started it out on 1st of March, that was the first day, first Wednesday of every month we are observing as Cyber Jaagrookta Diwas. So we conducted the session on first Wednesday, that was on 1st of March. The title was Ethics in Emerging Digital Space. We were joined by our esteemed resource persons, and for any reason if you haven't watched the session, then here are the video links along with the banner. So simultaneously we will be uploading the video links over here, and you can access these links and watch our live sessions. Now let me quickly tell you how you all can participate in the session. So there are certain steps. Step number 1 is registration. You can register yourself by clicking on the link or by scanning this QR code that is visible on the screens. Then watch our live panel discussions either through eVidya channel number 6 to 12, where we run our live sessions, and the details of the live sessions are mentioned on this page. And also you can connect with us through NCERT official and certain other mediums laid down for you over here. Then participation in the post session activity, it will be conducted based on the 5 sessions listed in the program schedule. The link will be released at the end of the 5th session. So we have the 5th session on 24th of March. So to get a certificate, participate and score over 50%. Participants are allowed to take 3 attempts at the quiz and certificate will be issued. So the quiz date, it will be launched on 24th of March 2023, and your feedback is really important to us. So do not forget to share your feedback with us. Then you know the details through which you can connect with us, our mail ID as well as the contact number. So viewers, before wrapping up this conversation, an important piece of information regarding G20 for all of you. We are proud that India assumed the G20 presidency and will convene the G20 Leaders Summit for the first time in the country in this year, that's 2023. The nation is deeply committed to democracy and multilateralism. India's G20 presidency would be a watershed moment in her history, as it seeks to play a very important role by finding pragmatic global solutions for the well-being of everyone, and in doing so manifest the true spirit of Vasudhaiv Kutumbakam, or the world is one family. Once again, thanking all of you, but stay connected with NCERT official. Next up we have our Sahyog session. So keep watching eVidya channels and take very good care of yourself. Namaskar.